All right, what just happened? Djokovic absolutely buries Ben Shelton with the celebration after he beats him in the semifinals at the US Open, copying his celebration after beating him in 3 sets, two of which were not close at all. And then it got very tight in the end of the third set. There was an icy handshake between the two. And we've got Ben Shelton's reaction to that celebration coming up. I'm going to give my thoughts on what I think. And, there's a ton of different opinions on, was that cool of Djokovic? Was it not? Was it cold of him? Was it gangster? Was it terrible form? Did Shelton deserve it? Was he too cocky the whole time? I'll get into all the different opinions, and we'll get into the actual tennis on what Djokovic did to outclass and take out Shelton in 3 sets today in the semifinals of the US Open. Here's the slice. We got a lot to get into, as we always do. So let's go. Oh man, drama. The tennis world can use a little bit more of that, honestly, to bring people in. And that's why I said on Twitter, I absolutely love this. I don't really have a problem with it. At the end of the day, both of these guys are doing fine in life. We don't have to feel bad for either guy. I think you make 800 grand for making the semifinals or something like that, US dollars. So that's Ben. He's 20 years old. He just had the best tournament of his life. And Djokovic, is into another final. He was never going to lose this match. Very cold-hearted celebration from him, and we'll get into it all. So anyways, welcome to The Slice. If you have not heard yet, the scientific research that has just come out proves that if you subscribe to The Slice and like this video, you get better at tennis. You start to serve more like Ben Shelton, move like Alcaraz, and be able to play matches and win majors like Djokovic. So thanks for your support. Thanks for being here, and thanks for entering the Go Sport bag giveaway. If you want to win a brand new tennis bag, all you got to do is to subscribe to The Slice, Go Sport on YouTube, and leave your email at the link below on the Go Sport website. So click the link below to do that, and the winner will be picked on Sunday. So very, very interesting scenes on Arthur Ashe, as yes, Djokovic takes out Ben Shelton in 3 sets. Now, this was obviously a total David and Goliath matchup. We have Djokovic having won 23 majors, and Shelton, first time in a semifinal, hadn't won back-to-back matches since Australia, but he has insanely huge weapons. He can serve at 150 miles an hour, and he's got that puncher chance. As I said in the preview, the big hitting players who aren't as consistent are not the players who hurt Djokovic or who cause upsets against him. The players that could beat him are the Medvedevs, the Roberto Bautista Aguts, the Carlos Alcarazes, obviously, the guys who can play long extended points for a long extended time, play amazing defense, counterpunch with Djokovic. That's not Ben Shelton yet. But through this match, we saw obviously that Shelton's shots could hit Djokovic, but Djokovic, the master, like we anticipated, used those shots and that power against Shelton. And yeah, really the way he served going into the Shelton backhand, making Shelton slice most of his returns, just the way he moved around the court. Shelton hadn't experienced, depth like that and movement like that from his opponent all tournament. And, 6-3, 6-2 for the first 2 sets, and wasn't necessarily that close, although it was entertaining. Then it got it more interesting at the end of the match. Djokovic is up, gets broken by Shelton. The crowd gets into it, starts cheering between Djokovic's first and second serves. We all know he hates that. So then villain mode gets switched on. And yeah, you could tell he was pissed off, but he didn't lose his focus. Shelton's bouncing around. So that kind of sets the scene. Shelton gets a break point. He's flexing. There's in the match previous to this, when he beats Francis Tiafoe, he does the telephone celebration. So we get that. Some might see that guy as being bombastic, too young, too cocky. I personally love it. Vintage. You gotta back yourself, because obviously no one on the internet will. So then we get to a tiebreaker, I believe, or maybe I'm wrong. That was just 7-5. No, it was a tiebreaker. Djokovic wins that. Although in the last few games, what switched was Djokovic was not being as clinical, but Ben also sat down and started to construct points super well. Had to play rallies where he had to hit like 8, 9, 10 good shots in a row and then capitalize on the opportunity when it presented itself rather than trying to just create it out of thin air. So Shelton started to play a lot better. Djokovic got a bit tight. He did a Joko smash that, as soon as you saw him taking it out of the air instead of having it bounce, you knew he was missing, dumps it into the net or puts it wide. I can't remember. So yeah, things got tight. It could have gone to a fourth set for sure, but it didn't. Djokovic closes the gate with just, better tennis and then celebrates like this. Shows off the telephone and hangs it up, and that was savage. And then there was an icy handshake. There was no love lost between these two guys at the net. Shelton kind of just like stared at him. I really don't think that these guys overly like each other from whatever. It could have been before this match, because Shelton, as I'll show you right now, didn't apparently see Djokovic do that celebration until after the match. So here's what Shelton had to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all he has to say about that.
Yeah, I didn't see it until after the match. And, I don't like when I'm on social media and I see people telling me how I can celebrate or can't celebrate. I think if you win the match, you deserve to do whatever you want. As a kid growing up, I always learned that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So that's all I have to say about that.
That's all he has to say about that. But if you look, so, he apparently didn't see it until after the match. But this is what Djokovic did. And then here's the handshake.
Shelton's celebration from the other day.
No love lost. No love lost. As you can see, Shelton just, boom, doesn't, say, man, I love you. I respect you so much. You're the GOAT. Djokovic doesn't go, amazing run, man. Amazing that you came here. Keep fighting. You're going to win one of these. Just boom. So make of that what you will. Now, opinions. Everyone's got an opinion. Let's start with Djokovic. People see Djokovic doing that as absolutely petty, as being, you're the 36-year-old. You've won 23 major titles, and you're kind of raining on the parade of a 20-year-old who's, just a kid who's happy to be there, who's having fun out there with his celebrations. Are you so insecure, about the American crowd cheering against you that you feel like you have to fight back? That's one kind of camp that people are in, kind of hating on Djokovic for doing that. Other people see Djokovic's celebration as like stone cold. Like, yeah, buddy, nice try. You're going to have to, you want to mess with the king. You want to be cocky out there on the court. You want to be flexing when you get break points. Hang up the phone. Kind of like, I would say, a Michael Jordan type attitude. Like, screw you, I'm coming right through your face. But it is weird because we've seen Djokovic act in different ways totally before, right? So Djokovic, a lot of times, will be super nice at the net, super, appreciative of his opponent, even when sometimes it doesn't maybe seem authentic. And then there's times like this where he's just kind of goes villain mode. And I honestly kind of like that more when he's just, I can see why Shelton's, all his, his loud yelling and stuff kind of gets on your nerve. I can understand where Djokovic is coming from. And then other people are, saying, Shelton had it coming to him because of the flex, because of the phone, because of the yelling and just kind of the way he carries himself very confidently. And then other people are saying, no, that's ridiculous that Djokovic did that because Shelton's just like the fun young kid. He's another great personality and talent in our sport. So where do you stand? Let me know in this comment section below. I'm sure you will. For me, it's hard. I can't decide because I look at that and I go, that is very petty, Djokovic, but it's also hilarious. And yeah, uncalled for. I don't think Shelton really deserved that, but I also I'm not mad at Djokovic for doing that. I'm not like upset. I think all this beef is good for tennis. I've never understood why there has to be so much love between players on court. Like NBA players, they're like sometimes trash talk before matches. They're like, or like definitely in like the UFC or whatever. I don't want tennis to become like the UFC, but there's like a build up to the match. There's kind of animosity. The thing is though, usually after a fight, They dap it up and they say, good job. I don't think these guys, Djokovic and Shelton, said anything to each other at the net there. So that was extremely salty. But what can you do? It makes for great entertainment. So leave your thoughts below. Djokovic into the semifinal or into the final to play the winner of Alcaraz Medvedev, which we've already previewed. So if you haven't watched the preview video, go back and watch it. But yeah, what did Djokovic do? Let's actually get into it, I guess. Let's where is it now? Let's get into the actual match. What a concept. And take a look at the stats here quickly because it's important. So Shelton, Djokovic only 5 aces. Shelton only 5 aces. So 71% first serves in for Shelton. If you notice, Shelton was spinning most of his serves in, trying to kick it up high on Djokovic instead of slapping first serves. Was his arm a little sore, or was that, did he feel like that would do more damage? It is true that he doesn't have the accuracy in his big serve like Kyrgios does. Kyrgios is bombing 132, 133, but like a foot from the line most times when he's like hitting a good first serve. So that means it's almost always going to be an ace or an unreturned serve when he's getting that in. Shelton's not as accurate with that, I've noticed. Maybe he thought, if I'm just bombing in serves, they might come back on me quicker than I like. So I'm going to roll these in and just start the point from a good spot. So that's an interesting stat. 71% first serves in for Shelton. Only won 60% of his first serve. So that's pretty crazy low for a guy with the serve of Shelton. Shows how amazing Djokovic is on the return. Djokovic, by contrast, 84% win percentage on first serve, only 34% on his second serve. So Shelton did a great job attacking the Djokovic second serve, but Shelton's return is really not at the place where it needs to be to really compete with Djokovic. I think only winning 16% of the serves of 67 points on Djokovic's first serve. So that is not going to get it done. That returning, so Shelton needs to return better. He did break Djokovic twice, and Djokovic broke him 5 times, had 14 break points. Yeah, both guys had, not a great winner to unforced error ratio, but it was an entertaining match for sure. Entertaining match, not like the craziest high quality, because as I tweeted out, I really think Shelton is not really anywhere near the level to challenge Djokovic yet. Like, I really never believed that Djokovic had any danger in this match. And that's okay, because clearly Shelton struggled on the ATP Tour all year. So it doesn't make any sense that he would challenge Djokovic now. I really think Shelton's probably 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years away from reaching his potential, which some people might say that's kind of mean to say. Well, it's not mean. I would hope that's the case, because I believe Shelton can get a lot better. He's already so good. He's already got such insane weapons, but I think he can get a lot better at just being able to read the game, play the game like a pro. At the end of the third set, when he was constructing these points really well against Djokovic, I hope, and I'm sure he will, go back with his dad and watch those points and be like, this is the type of tennis that could win me majors in the future. Playing like this through a whole match and sprinkling in my weapons, my forehand and my serve, that's a winning recipe. So good performance from Shelton. Obviously, he lost. I didn't really ever think that he was going to win or really have any chance of even getting out of 3 sets. Djokovic, too smooth, too deadly, and stone cold in victory over Shelton. That was hilarious. Let me know your thoughts below. As always, that's the slice on the US Open semifinal on the bottom. Now we're watching Carlos Alcaraz versus Daniil Medvedev and waiting for the final of the women's and men's. So stay tuned. Enter the draw below by clicking the link and sending in your email. We will see you guys next time here on